National Security Advisor HR McMaster said backchannel communications between different governments was normal. Economic advisor Gary Cohn said, "We're not going to comment on Jared. Mr. Kushner is said to be under scrutiny as part of the FBI inquiry into alleged Russian meddling in the 2016 election. Reports in the U.S. say investigators believe he had relevant information, but he is not necessarily suspected of a crime." On Friday, The Washington Post and New York Times reported that Mr. Kushner had wanted to use Russian facilities to avoid US interception of discussions with Moscow. Gen McMaster refused to comment on the specific reports against Mr. Kushner, but said that he would not be concerned if a government official set up a secret line with Moscow. "We have back-channel communications with any number of individual countries. What that allows you to do is communicate in a discreet manner. I would not be concerned about it." Mr. Kushner reportedly took part in discussions about a back-channel with Russia's ambassador to the U.S., Sergei Kislyak, in December. At the time, Mr. Kushner was a private citizen, but working in Mr. Trump's transition team. While US government departments do set up secure lines with foreign leaders, it is unusual for a transition team to do so, Washington Post reports. The back-channel would also have been unusual as it would have used Russian hardware at its embassies in the U.S., the report added. Mr. Trump's first national security advisor Michael Flynn was said to be present at the meeting. Mr. Flynn was fired in February after misleading the White House about his contact with Mr. Kislyak. Gen McMaster and Mr. Cohn, who were accompanying Mr. Trump as part of his first foreign trip as president, were asked several times about the reports during a news conference in Italy. However, Mr. Cohn said, "We're just not going to comment on Mr. Kushner." Mr. Trump is on his way back to the U.S., following a G7 summit and meetings with EU, NATO and Middle Eastern leaders. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe.